River's Rebuke is amazing. It's not enough mana to stop me from No More Rising. What else you got? Okay. Let's play Bilbo the Luckwearer. And then Practiced Offense. I think we just win. This is so strong. Tokens on everybody. So strong. Amazing. Woo! Only had to swing once. Welcome, friends and opponents, to Head Games Arena. My name is Jet, and this week in Standard, we're going to bring out our binoculars and see what all those birders have been gassing on about for all this time. And by that, of course, I mean we are playing Azorius Bird Eye, because there's a most decrepit old bird here and a giant eyeball. Get it? Bird Eye? It's hilarious. Most Decrepit Old Bird is a 1-mana 1/1 flyer that becomes a 2/2 if it has Threshold, which means if you have 7 or more cards in your graveyard. I don't know why Threshold came back in The Hobbit, but here it is. It also has an adventure, Speak Secrets, 2-mana sorcery, mill 4, then put an instant or sorcery from among them into your hand. So this helps us fill our graveyard with the creatures that we want to reanimate on the cheap, which is something that White has always been very good at. This list already existed before The Hobbit came out, and The Hobbit gave it some very, very interesting new toys, including the bird, which I think is very much a mainstay of this deck now. Helping Hand's a 1-mana sorcery, returns a creature with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. You will notice that all of the creatures in this deck have a mana value of 3 or less, so this can reanimate literally any creature in the deck. The other really noticeable 3-drops that we're playing with, in addition to Abhorrent Oculus, which by the way is a 5/5 flyer that manifests dread on your opponent's turn, which essentially gives you a 2/2 creature every one of your opponent's turns, is just an absolute powerhouse for 3 mana. The other notable 3-drops, Cosma Grand Zenith, 3 mana 2/4. When you cast your second spell, make 2 human soldier tokens, or put a +1/+1 counter on each creature, both very viable options. Kiora the Rising Tide, 3 mana 3/2. When it enters, draw 2 cards, discard 2 cards. It also has Threshold, inexplicably. When Kiora attacks, if you have 7 or more cards, you can make the Scion of the Deep, which is an 8/8 octopus legendary creature token, and it happens all the time in this list. It's so easy to get your graveyard to 8, so Kiora's secondary ability is going to happen more than you might think, because we've got the most decrepit old bird milling cards. We've also got 4 copies of Picklock Prankster, which has the instant adventure Free the Fae, 2 mana, mill 4, put an instant sorcery or fairy from among them into your hand, so we're putting lots of cards in the graveyard. And then we've also got 4 copies of Practiced Offense, which you know is a pet card of mine. I absolutely love this card, because it puts a +1/+1 counter on each creature target player controls, then 1 creature gets double strike or lifelink, and it has flashback too, so you just never feel sad about putting this in the graveyard early to a mill or to a surveil or to a discard. You actually feel good because it's very much like you didn't lose the card at all. At the top end, we've also got Leonardo's Technique, one of the best cards from TMNT, it turns out. 4 mana, returns 1 or 2 target creatures with mana value 3 or less. Getting 2 eyeballs with this feels so strong, and there's so many creatures to facilitate the sneak ability to let you do it for 2. 2 mana for 2 Abhorrent Oculuses feels absolutely amazing. We're trying out 2 copies of Bilbo Luckwearer. It's a 1/1 that can't be blocked. When it hits, you draw a card and discard a card, so it facilitates the get things into the graveyard. Burglar's Plot to exchange control of stuff, not necessary. We're probably not going to see that because this card's very strange that the regular side of it's cheaper than the adventure, but it's there. It's possible to exchange a soldier token for a very big creature on our opponent's board, which is both hilarious and actually very advantageous, very strong. In terms of interaction, 4 copies of Get Lost, because it is kind of a Swiss Army knife. Creatures, enchantments, or planeswalkers for 2 mana. Map tokens given to our opponent aren't probably going to work too hard against us, because this deck is going to close out the game very, very fast. 4 copies of No More Lies, almost exclusively in here to try to counter our opponent's board wipes, to keep all of our creatures on board. So that's the deck. Blue, white, reanimation, try to get stuff into our yard and reanimate these really gigantic, or really amazing powerhouse 3-mana value creatures ahead of curve and just get so much value that we close out the game very, very quickly. Before we head over into the gameplay, as always, I'd like to invite you to do whatever you can to support the channel. Give us a like, maybe subscribe to the channel, tell all your friends about head games. I'd love to hear in the comments what decks you're trying out in Standard right now, because it feels like a wide open field to me, and I'm very curious to see what other people are playing. Thank you as always for being here. Let's play some head games. Alright gang, let's get to work. This is Azorius Bird Eye, blue-white, pseudo Reanimator. We've got our, this is a pretty good hand. We've got our most decrepit bird and our abhorrent Oculus. We don't really want this in hand, but I sure get it in hand a lot. Yeah, this is fine. I don't dislike this at all. We're going to play our tap land. No need to take two. We're not going to play the bird until we get the Speak Secrets out of the way. This card's much better on the play. Don't mind that at all. Here is Speak Secrets. Okay. They see what we're doing. Can they do something about it? You got a bat? Bat would stop me, at least for a turn. They're holding up removal. Let's draw a land. Nope. Okay, they're going to go for the wall. They're all right. They're good with it. Okay, so yeah, we 100% helping hand Abhorrent Oculus, and we'll play most decrepit old bird. Going to manifest dread. They're going to remove it on their upkeep. We're 100% okay with that, because that means they don't play the enchantment. So, I don't think it matters which way we do this. I would very much have liked to have drawn the Leo's technique. That's okay. We need to draw more lands here. Here's Unholy Annex. It's good for them. Draws them a card. Okay, here's Meticulous Archive. We will leave a land on top. We're going to get rid of the Annex. And get in with the Flyers. We'll Manifest Dread again. Oh, I guess I left the land on top. It's another Leonardo's technique in the bin. That's okay. Picklock Prankster or Free the Fae only gets something that milled, right? Yeah. Here's another Unholy Annex for our opponent. Okay. Okay. I really wish I had drawn another land, but we're okay here. I mean, we're just going to keep doing it. I'm going to keep them off of Unholy Annexes. We'll get in for 7 this time. Our opponent is also having a hard time hitting lands, so really we're keeping up here. Okay, there's the bird. Gives me something to flip, something to hold priority. Okay, digging for lands with the map tokens. You have it. I love that I'm holding priority. It's giving me life that the face down card is holding priority. Given a little stick to make our opponent rethink what they're doing. It's funny how the game engine does that. Makes it very different from playing in paper Magic. Like, you know, sitting here in front of a camera and in front of a computer screen doing this is very different than sitting across the table from another human being. Of which I definitely am one. Our opponent's taking their time. Their third Unholy Annex. I don't think it matters. They're going to go up to 13. They'll put their Unholy Annex trigger on the stack. I'll flip the bird. I get to flip the bird in this deck. I just got that. Okay, I'm not going to mess around. Here's practiced offense. We're going to give the Abhorrent Oculus double strike. And get in with everybody. strong showing for the deck that time. Both of us were stuck on land, so I still think that's a fair match. On to game 2 with Azorius Bird Eye. And once again, we have both of our namesake cards in the opener, which makes me very, very happy. Bad mana. Very bad mana. So, Flood Farm enters untapped, so I can go Agnikala on 1, Flood Farm on 2, and that gives me either Speak Secrets or Bilbo or No More Lies. Okay, I think we're okay with that. It's interesting because No More Lies is very much not my favorite interaction spell. Okay, this makes things very different. Okay, what does this do? You've got to get to all 5 colors and you can do something very, very strong, right? So if I'm going to play Bilbo next turn, do I just play the bird to block Nick Fury? I think maybe I do. This is going to seem a little strange. I know that it is. But they're on the play, so if I'm playing a game of attrition here, because I'll trade. I will trade their 1-drop for mine, because I think keeping their creatures off the board is quite important. Yep. Thank you kindly. Okay, so now that I just drew Kiora, what does this do? You may put a hero creature card with mana value 3 or less from your hand onto the battlefield if you don't draw a card. Okay. So they get kind of a free... They get kind of a free spell here. So do I play Bilbo, or do I hold up No More Lies for what they're inevitably going to do next? I think I'm gonna... I'm actually very... You know what? I think No More Lies is a lot stronger later, and let's remember that they have a Cavern of Souls, so No More Lies is probably a lot worse than it looks right now. Do they get to put something in on the backside? There's Cap. Okay, so 3/2 first strike. Here's the flying Cap. Cool. All right, let's get Abandoned Air Temple down. Let's play Kiora. Ooh, woof. Very bad for us. I'm going to put both Abhorrent Oculuses in the yard. We are also going to get in with Bilbo because we are not going to block with Bilbo. We're just desperately seeking a Reanimator spell because their board just got very scary. Okay. Origin of Spider-Man. Okay. Yes. Strong. Cool. We're just going to take 10. Okay, Leonardo's technique was 100% what I needed here. That's going to make the game very different. All right. So let's pay attention. I've got 2 Oculuses in the yard, right? Yes. All right. Land for turn. Leonardo's technique. Double eyeball. I'm trying to decide whether or not I have to hold up Bilbo. I think the answer is no. Oh, no, because I'm going to manifest Dread twice. We'll get in with Bilbo. We'll discard a land. Okay, moment of truth. Double manifest Dread. Creature becomes +1/+1. You got it. So I'm actually just going to try to be very thoughtful about what I do here. Okay, they play another Cavern of Souls. What else do you have? What does Avengers Tower do? Okay, so if they attack here, I'm going to win. And what does this have? This has Ward 1. It has Hexproof now because Cap has a shield counter. Got it. That is, I'm sorry, friend. That is unfortunately quite wrong. I'm really not sure about this attack here. I was going to say, unless I'm missing something, I don't know why they did that. So I get to make this Abhorrent Oculus double strike and make this Abhorrent Oculus double strike. I should just swing with everybody, right? That will do. That's a fair amount of damage right there. Who's the hero now? This is game 3, Azorius Bird Eye. That's blue-white. Abhorrent Oculus Reanimator. This is fair. Kiyora's going to dump an Oculus to then possibly reanimate it with Leo's technique. So, yeah, we can keep this. We're also on the play. I don't hate this at all. I would love to dump another Leonardo's technique target into the yard. I also would just like to draw Most Decrepit Bird or the Picklock Prankster. Either of the. I would love to draw Picklock Prankster here. Our opponent's still figuring out what to do with their hand. They are apparently related to somebody famous. You can tell. This is the... Just... For a moment, take in the screen. You've got Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle background, Smaug, the Magnificent Avatar, and Oko sleeves. This is where we're at, folks. I'll keep a helping hand. Actually, I'm not sure if that's right. I don't want to. I guess I don't want to bin it. I'm fine with drawing helping hand here, because I might not end up with more than one target. And Leo's technique is also harder to cast. Helping hand assures me that I will be able to I'll be able to reanimate something. Evolving Wild gets a forest for our opponent. We will play an island and do nothing. We're going to find out what our opponent is doing next. I really like where we're at already. Isn't it funny that that's how Standard works? Is that I'm like, I feel very good about the position that we're in. Town Greeter. So they are actually a mill deck. I think we have to let Town Greeter go. Okay. So now I have to hold up mana for No More Lies. So, like, because really, if they have the Foggy spell, I'm just done. So, I'm gonna play this tapped and pass. So they're playing Superior Spider-Man, but they may also have another... That might have been too cautious, honestly. It may have made more sense for me to play Kiyora there. Formidable Speaker... I have to let that resolve too. It's one of the failures of this list is I know that there isn't any good graveyard hate in it at all. I shouldn't even say good. There is no graveyard hate in it whatsoever. Arden in the yard. So if they get Cavern of Souls, all of this fussing that I've been doing has been completely for naught. There's a bookworm. Okay, which means they've actually got the Reanimator piece in their yard. So unfortunately, I could have pushed my game plan forward last turn, and I didn't. And now now I have sunken cost. Now I am sunk into what I'm doing. This is really tough. So again, hindsight's always 20/20, right? Anyway, I'm gonna do it this turn. I'm gonna play Kiyora. We'll put Abhorrent Oculus and practice offense into the yard. We'll play Helping Hand, get the Oculus. Move to combat, Manifest Dread. Put a Get Lost on the board where it is of no use whatsoever. We put our shields down, and now I feel strongly like I'm going to pay for it. No, Formidable Speaker only gives you extra mana if something produces more than one. What are you sitting on? See, they've had the 4th land the whole time. They're just slow rolling me. Okay, they don't have the Reanimator piece. That's very interesting. Okay. Here we go. You may draw a card and discard a card. See, I really ought to have something that nukes graveyards in this list. I thought so much about it when I was building the list, and I just, against my better judgment, I did not do it. Okay, so what am I doing here? I'm probably... so I can hold up No More Lies and just do and get another creature down. I don't know if that matters or not. This is not a creature, so I can't turn it face up. I'm trying to decide whether to practice offense now or later, and I think the answer is now. Okay. I'm curious to see what they do. If they have a removal spell for Oculus, that changes my plan a little bit. So I'm gonna, like, make them have that first. I mean, I think I get in with everybody. I don't think there's a compelling reason not to. Sure. Double block the face down card. Double block Kiora. I mean, any of these things are fine for me, actually. Don't mind at all. Okay. Our opponent is at 8. We will play a Hallowed Fountain tapped and pass the turn. We'll manifest Dread on our opponent. Oh, there is another Abhorrent Oculus. I guess I could have put that in the bin. Okay, this is it. Do you have Cavern of Souls? Do you have the reanimation piece? I'm glad I didn't lose hope. It's easy to lose hope against this deck because it's so finely tuned. So very, very good at always having it. And that's the game. No more lies. That's why No More Lies is in the deck. Not specifically for that line, but for situations such as that where I just need one more turn to win. So I'm not presenting lethal, but they don't know that I have another Abhorrent Oculus under one of the face down cards. So hopefully they don't rope us. Don't rope us. I'm recording. Okay, thank you. Feels good to win against that list. It's real easy to lose. On to game 4 with Azorius Bird Eye. We're on the draw this game. We are currently 3-0. Had some pretty good running so far. Picklock Prankster feels good. I mean, I'm not mad at where we're at here. I don't have interaction, but this hand does the game plan. It pushes the game plan forward quite fast. Just a swamp for our opponent. We'll play a Hallowed Fountain tapped. We have to remember that Gleaming Bastion is not turned on until I get a basic, so I'm gonna play my second Hallowed Fountain untapped unless they steal a card from our hand, which they did not. Let's remember to play the second Hallowed Fountain untapped, and we will pass the turn from there. Let's hope we can catch one of their unholy annexes with this No More Lies. Mischievous Sneakling. Okay. Here comes the enchantment. Excellent. None of that, please. Our opponent gets in for 2. I was gonna say let's draw an Abhorrent Oculus, but that did not happen. Okay, Gleaming Bastion doesn't need to be colored mana now, so here comes Kiora. Let's get some good hits here. That's exactly what I was looking for. Abhorrent Oculus and I'm probably going to dump the temple here. That seems right. Now we're going to hope that our opponent does not have graveyard-based removal. Fear Dot Core is fine. Oh, no! Perfect running for our opponent. 2 damage. Okay. Second Kiora. We'll put another Oculus and a Flood Farm Verge in the bin. Hold on. Do I have... Hold on. Oh, Flood Farm makes white. Flood Farm makes white. Even after a graveyard nuke? Okay, we get to put the bird here. Excellent. That feels pretty good. Requiting Hex removes the bird that you didn't know was a bird. What else we got, friend? You gonna get in with the Sneakling? Tragedy Feaster. No blocks here. We'll take the 2. They did not gain life, so they have to sacrifice a permanent. What do I have to do? Discard a card? We're fine with that. Let's get this out of the way. Yeah, we'll happily discard a card here. And then we're going to Picklock Prankster to fill up the yard for Kiora. One more for good measure. Getting in. Making a giant octopus. I feel like our board's wide enough that I don't really have to worry anymore. 4 creatures on the table. What say you? Excellent. That was a good run. On to Game 5 with Azorius Bird Eye, currently 4-0. We are on the play with bad mana. I'm not sure I can keep this. In fact, I don't think that I can. This hand does nothing unless I draw something that turns the blue of this card on. I think I have to ship that. Okay, better. Quite better as far as I'm concerned. So what do I tuck, though? Probably the Technique. It's the slowest card. Yeah, let's keep 6 and tuck Leonardo's Technique. This is okay. I really love it when I can Cosmogrand into Bird. That actually, you know, when I cast Bird on turn 2, we will 100% dump a practiced offense. Maybe we get a Cosmogrand game in. Show the quality of this card. Steam Vents for our opponent. We'll play a Plains, which makes all the other lands in my hand come in untapped. Speak Secrets. Gets a Helping Hand. Red, white, and blue for our opponent. I don't like where we're at here. Flood Farm Verge comes in untapped. Is it ridiculous for me to bring the... I'm trying to decide if it's ridiculous for me to bring the fairy in. I kind of think it's not. I'm not doing anything with these Helping Hands. Like, I have 3 copies of Helping Hand right now. If I don't do anything with them, I'm doing nothing this turn. What do you got? There you go. You got a removal spell for old Picklock Prankster? You gonna let that go? Okay, we're gonna let that go. 3 mana for our opponent gets them Tablet, I'm guessing. Destroy target land. And remove my creature. Sure. You got it. We will get an island. That's interesting. Okay, so we know that they're playing Avengers Disassembled, right? So that means that they are absolutely going to continue to try to nuke my board. So here's an Agna Kala, a Cosmogrand Zenith, and a most decrepit old bird, which is going to put a counter on Cosmogrand Zenith. Tablet of Discovery for our opponent. Gets them a land, which is exactly what they wanted. We need to draw a No More Lies, like, right now. Sacred Foundry is the land they got. Did the font of our handles change? Like, look at the lettering beneath their name. It looks like the font changed. Okay, 3 mana for our opponent. Do I have 2 targets? I don't. Okay. They don't have any blue. I don't really know what to do with this. I mean, I could just attack, right? I think that that's correct. I'm gonna attack, get my 4 points of damage in. Am I gonna pass the turn? This feels so bad. I feel so strongly that they're gonna... Yeah, I'm gonna try to go wider. I feel so strongly that I'm just playing into a board wipe at this point. Okay. Let's, the second one puts counters. The first one makes guys. I mean, is it? Is it when you've got Wrath of God in your hand? Yeah. Okay. Here's a Plains and Leonardo's technique. We'll get both Cosmogrands back. Tell me you don't have a counterspell. They do. Ugh. Yeah, this game is over. Yeah, this game is over. I guess this is part of what frustrates me when I'm playing against a list like this, is that now that they have parity, now that they have gotten to the point where they have conquered my board, now they're just sitting there. Like, move your game plan forward. Second tablet. Okay. Helping Hand. Get a Cosmogrand back. Speak Secrets. Going wide. And... cool. So, I'm quite tempted to practice offense now, but I don't think it's right, because I can double spell next turn. If I don't. Like, basically, as long as I draw a spell, I can double spell here. So we're not, again, the game's not over. So they've got more than enough mana for Jeskai Revelation here. Firebending Lesson takes out the Cosmogrand. And... am I gonna practice offense here? It sure feels like I am. I'm gonna make them use their removal, because I have reanimation spells. So I'm gonna make them use all of their removal, or else I'm going to do them 6 damage. I'm gonna hold this land because it doesn't really do anything for me, and I want to be able to use Agna Kala as a loot effect next turn. Move right to combat. I'll attack for 4. Do you have an Jeskai Revelation? Okay, I don't know if I want to spin the wheel now. Let's do it. Let's do it now, because I might draw a No More Lies. That is not what I drew. Okay, let's discard this Hallowed Fountain. We'll end the turn. Waiting on a board wipe. Get Lost removes a creature. Tell me I just sat that game out. No way! I can't believe they ran out of gas. Never give up, right? Gotta tell myself this. On to game 6 with Azorius Bird Eye, currently 5-0. Very easy to jinx ourselves at this point. So we have all the good reanimation targets in our hand, but we are on the play with lots to do. We're definitely keeping this hand. Start with our Hallowed Fountain tapped and say go. Our opponent has these brilliant Gandalf sleeves. Look how cool those are. Okay, so Llanowar Elf for our opponent. We'll play Flood Farm Verge and pass. So what do they get to do? They played a land, Traveling Chocobo for our opponent. Let's free the Fae. Pretty cool. Not great for us, really. I would like to... Okay, so I think the move here is play this land, cast Helping Hand on Kiora. She comes in tapped, which feels very bad for us. Good lord, I really now don't want to put both of these Abhorrent Oculuses in the yard. Let's do this. Let's put... No, I think it's right. Let's put them both in there. You know what? I probably should have cast the other Free the Fae. I just also don't want to get completely dunked on by our opponent. Tifa gets bigger twice. You got a fight spell you want to use? Okay, so now I've got... Excuse me while I scratch my eyeball. So actually I can't Abhorrent Oculus here. So what we really need is Leo's Technique. Like I need a Leo's Technique. So I think that's the move. I'm gonna try to free the Fae. Let's dig for Leo. Nope. Yeah, so I'll take the Get Lost back. What little good it's gonna do us. So now I can't really get lost. I don't think that really helps us. So I'm gonna make Kiora double strike. And I'm gonna attack with these two things, and we are gonna create the 8/8 octopus. I mean, if they have the line that just beats us here, they have the line that just beats us. They probably don't block. They probably just take 8. Because they may very well have the win in hand. Well, because if they had, there's the 4 mana spell that gets 4 lands out or something like that, and if that's what they have, if they sacrifice 2 lands and dig out 4, Tifa becomes so big that it doesn't matter. Titanic Growth for Tifa, easy peasy. Titanic Growth again. Yep, there it is. See, they had it. Easy as that. Ironically, if I had left up, Get Lost, they would have had to make different choices. Is that enough? It's 115 damage over 20. Is that enough? This is it, friends and opponents. Game 7, currently 5-1 with Azorius Bird Eye. We relearned our lesson last game that you definitely need to respect the mono green landfall list. I'm very curious how differently that might have gone if I had left up removal. We can keep this hand. It's got interaction, and I am a little hesitant in terms of not immediately having access to blue mana, but Flood Farm's one of the easier ones to turn on. So our opponent played a tapped Surveil land on their first turn, so I'm not really sure what to make of that, other than that's kind of janky. Breeding Pool for our opponent. We're being very much punished for keeping a suspect hand. We can cast Cosmic Grand Zenith, and now we're going to draw a land that turns on all our other lands, and our next turn's going to be glorious. Ancient Cornucopia for our opponent. We did it. Here's a Plains. That turns on all of our cards. Let's speak some secrets. What did I tuck? Just Abhorrent. Oh, okay. No, this is perfect. I will Helping Hand and get Abhorrent Oculus. Let's go wide. And we're going to hold the bird because very high likelihood they board wipe here. We'll Manifest Dread and we'll put the Prankster on board. High likelihood we see a board wipe here. They've got the mana for it. Yep, there it is. Okay. Excellent. Okay, so from here we play Bilbo the Luckwearer. And we're going to pass the turn. Another card for our opponent. Shared Roots is fine. I think I mean, I don't want to get overconfident. I think we can make this work. We're going to get in with Bilbo. We're going to play Leonardo's technique. Get the Abhorrent Oculus and the Cosmic Grand back. Picking up Bilbo. And then we also play Most Decrepit Bird, and again we're going to go wide. End the turn. Manifest Dread. Do you have a second board wipe? Let's see if they rip it just immediately. River's Rebuke is amazing! It's not enough mana to stop me from No More Rising. What else you got? Okay. Let's play Bilbo the Luckwearer. And then Practiced Offense. I think we just win. This is so strong. Tokens on everybody. So strong. Amazing. Woo! Only had to swing once. All right, friends and opponents, how did we do today? 6-1 on camera. Mono Green Landfall stole the game from us, and that might have been a misplay on my part. I definitely had the removal in my hand, and I could have kept it up to make them play a little less optimally, but they probably had it. I mean, the deck plays a lot of protection spells, so, I mean, I went for it and was hoping they didn't have it, but I probably was just playing a little too fast and loose there. I maybe could have been a little bit more strategic there, but listen, 6-1 rather is a very good record. And I don't mind telling you, I've been practicing with this deck before I started recording, and I've had a lot of success with it. It has helped me climb the ladder. This, as far as I can tell, has a pretty good win rate, and especially in the best of one ladder where people do play with graveyard removal, but you saw in that one game that even though our opponent had the graveyard removal at the right moment, we were literally able to reanimate an Abhorrent Oculus the very next turn. And that was the best case scenario where everything went right for us, but that's what the deck's designed to do. It's really got so many redundant pieces now that are doing exactly the same thing, and I think that's what makes it so consistent, is that now we essentially have 8 copies of Picklock Prankster with Most Decrepit Old Bird. Speak Secrets is a little bit worse, like it is marginally worse, but you basically have 8 copies of it now, which really makes the deck feel so much more consistent, and between Helping Hand and Leo's technique, you essentially have 8 copies of this card as well. Add in practiced offense as something that you never feel bad about pitching, and you've got a deck that really, I'm gonna repeat myself 100 times here, it feels very consistent, but also just very strong. You saw in a couple of those games that as soon as their shields were down, we were closing out the game. So this deck does not dirtle. If your opponent slips, you're going to run them over, which is exactly the kind of thing you want when you're trying to climb the ladder. You want a deck that, because I'm the type of content creator where I'm trying to play fun things, I'm trying to do new things, and trying to do things that I'm not comfortable doing and not used to doing, just because it's fun for me to do different things and to kind of expand my horizons a little bit. But sometimes it's nice to play something that just feels very strong and feels very put together, feels very streamlined, and this list is it. Not a lot of like hard to come by cards here. There are 4 Abhorrent Oculuses, 2 Cosmic Grand Zeniths, and again, I said it before, finely tuned versions of this deck are playing more copies of this card. Bilbo is something that I added instead. I actually, instead of 4 Cosmic Grand Zeniths, I put 2 copies of Bilbo, 2 copies of Zenith, but you could probably run 4 Zenith and be perfectly content to do that. If you are listening to me ramble here at the end of the video about whether or not this deck is any good, spoiler alert, this is fantastic. This deck is amazing. I would recommend it. Thank you for doing that. It's one of the best things that you can do. It teaches the algorithm that people are watching our videos all the way to the end and that other people might want to do that. So thank you again for being here, for taking the time, and remember, take care of your head. Hey gang, thanks so much for tunneling in. Click that subscribe button to support the channel and check out our last standard video where we went on an adventure back to good old Sackville.